everybody out there, you're tuned in to 91.8 The Fan, and you're sitting in Kana's Corner. And I have a very special guest sitting in the corner today who apparently is getting ready for an awesome trip.
Hey, what's up? Yes, hi.
This is Chris Patton.
Yes, exactly. And I am in the midst of laundry and packing madness well, the trick is, it's not just England. I'm leaving for England tomorrow, and then from England I go to Seattle, and then from Seattle I go to Michigan. So, yeah, it's kind of insane.
Oh, wow, that's pretty awesome. Is that for some major convention hopping, or can you tell us what that's for?
Well, two of it, yeah. Okay, I'm going to England for a convention. And they want us there early to adjust for jet lag. So I'm there from the 23rd to the 29th. And then I fly home and I have about 10 hours before I get on the plane for SakuraCon in Seattle. And I'm there for 4 days. And then I get home and I have 1 day. Actually, I have about 12 hours. And then I get on the plane for Grand Rapids, Michigan, where I'm going to record an audiobook. So that's what that's all about.
Well, awesome stuff. We'll be seeing you through the jet lag at SakuraCon then.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I'm very excited about Seattle. I was just telling someone at lunch today that I was more excited about Seattle than England, only because I've been to England twice, and it's cool. I love England. But Seattle is going to be a first for me, and it's a city I've always wanted to go to, so I'm pretty happy about that.
That's a first for me, too. I'm very stuck in Las Vegas, Nevada, so I don't travel very often.
Vegas. You know, this is funny, the last time I was in Vegas, I wasn't even old enough to gamble or drink, so, yeah, haven't been to Vegas since it's mattered.
Well, maybe you should come back for Anime Vegas in September.
I'm sure I wouldn't doubt that con is somewhere on my near horizon. We shall see. I probably will. If I get invited, I'll be there. Because I need to go to Vegas and see some humanity and if there are any roller coasters left standing there in Vegas, I will ride them most definitely.
I think there's like the New York is left, and then the Adventure Dome and everything on the Stratosphere. And that's about it.
I'll pass on that.
I'm scared
of the Stratosphere. Yeah, did they take the Canyon Blaster out?
I'm pretty sure that they're either working on it or they're about to.
Okay, that's cool.
You might still have a chance.
All right, well, good. Excellent. And I want to see Ka. Is it called Ka? It's called Ka. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that one's really good. I'd recommend that one. And Mystere if you haven't seen it.
I don't want to see Mystere. No.
Well, either way, your latest project, I'm pretty sure right now is Soul Eater, correct?
Yeah, I just recently finished Soul Eater. And then, I, of course, not too long ago, finished, Greed's arc in Brotherhood. And I think I've got more Greeds too, actually. I just did a commentary, with Vic Mignogna, actually. We recorded a commentary last week for, one of the discs. And I think I've got some more Greed coming up. And then, I did some work on a show that hasn't been announced yet, and then I did some work on a show that is I don't know if I can talk about it or not, but it's part, let's say it's part of a very ginormous anime franchise, and it's airing on Nicktoons, so most people can probably put two and two together and figure out what that is. So yeah.
Well, that's actually very interesting. Hopefully we can plug that one when it's fully announced and when you can talk about it.
Yes, exactly. But definitely the Soul Eater and and two others that I worked on that I can't talk about, and then of course Brotherhood, which is a big deal for many people. So I've been busy on the anime front, and I've been busy on the commercial front, and I'm about to get really busy in the audiobook world. So I'm traveling and working my butt off right now.
That's great, though. That's plenty of work for you. Paycheck. Always awesome.
Yes. Yes, it is awesome. It's very cool. It's very exciting. And I've got, if we count the English convention and Sakura Con, I think I've got 9 conventions lined up so far for the summer. Yeah.
Ooh, very nice. You'll be hopping every other state.
Yep, pretty much. Oh, and I've got, for the first time in my life, I'm going to a convention in Ireland in August, so I'm really stoked about that.
Oh, I am jealous. That sounds so much fun.
Yeah, they're bringing me there a week early, and they said that they just want to take me around the countryside, and then they put me up in some like ridiculously pimp hotel in the middle of Dublin, and I'm like, wow, okay, sure, like you got me, yeah. So,
well, we'll make sure to show us pictures when you get back.
Yes, many pictures of the Emerald Isle, of course.
Well, now back on your vocal work, you actually just got to do 2 villains, both in Brotherhood and Soul Eater, if I recall. That must have been fun.
That is correct. Yes. 2 villains, one who's now sort of iconic, I guess, and the other one, Ashura, who is cool and already has a fan following, you know, of course, because of the original Japanese release of Soul Eater, but I think it's going to be it's something that I'm excited for people to hear because it's I've played villains before, obviously, but this is a different kind of different level of crazy for me. It's really fun. Oh, and I forgot to mention, people are just now starting to approach me at conventions with copies of Bakano to sign, because I played, while we're on the topic of insane villains, I played Graham Spector in Bakano, and that was incredibly challenging, especially to jump into Mr. Suita's shoes. But it was sort of it got me ready for Soul Eater, because if I thought that I had reached levels of villainous crazy with Greed or Graham Spector, Ashura puts all of them to shame. So it's kind of exciting. Very cool.
Well, that's very awesome, and we can probably start picking up Soul Eater soon, I think.
Yeah, I believe so. I just, in fact, just as of today, I got a few little people have been spamming my wall a little bit on Facebook about how I heard you in Soul Eater, and I think that must mean the episode has just been released where you first meet Ashura, which is, it's just a taste of the character. You don't really get to the meat and bones of him till way later in the series. You get lots of Ashura action. So, but at first, you'll just get glimpses here and there of what he's like, and then it builds as the show goes on, as is the case with so many of these characters and so many of these shows.
Does he have any of his crazy, wacky moments where you just get to go downright evil and ballistic? Yeah,
absolutely, and completely, you know, voice-destroying laughter and screaming and shouting that he gets to do. He's just absolutely the creepiest character I've ever played, I think, and I'm always amazed at how I think I've always done the weirdest thing there is to do with my voice, and something comes along and proves me wrong. And I just hope I never reach the day where they present me with something and I say, I just can't do that. So I don't know. Actually, I'm prepping for this audiobook right now, and it's it's funny. I just signed the contract on it, and there was no non-disclosure agreement, but I have a feeling I've been doing research on the title, and it seems to be a pretty big young adult title, so I'm not going to say it, but there's some stuff I have to do in this. I mean, not to mention the fact that when you do an audiobook, it's you're doing everything. You're narrating and you're doing all the characters and all that. But this particular book has a particular set of challenges that I have yet to encounter in doing narration work. So I'm very excited to jump into it, but I'm anxious about how the finished product will come out. Just to see how well I pull everything off. But that's the thing about this kind of work is you're always challenging yourself, and really, if you're not, you're gonna get bored anyway. So it's just like, if you keep falling back and doing the same character over and over again, there's no challenge, and you're not growing. So what's the point?
And you have something different every day. One day you get to be a villain, one day you get to be a narrator, one day you get to be God knows what.
Yeah, like right now, I mean, like a couple of days ago, like when I got back from the ANG Ohio, it was the convention I was at. The day I got back, I went and did a commercial for a local car dealership, and it was very straightforward commercial work. And then the next day, I went and did some very technical narration for Lockheed Martin, which was very formal, and I had to use a British accent, and then I got called to Dallas to do some work on that show about spherical objects and dragons that is going to be on Nicktoons. That was completely, just insane. I was doing like old men and villagers and villains, and it was just, I was all over the map. And then I finished work on that other show that I can't talk about, where I played a sort of gruff 30-year-old villain type guy. So versatility is the main skill, I guess, you need to possess in this line of work. And it's always, my versatility is always put to the test, and I like it like that.
Awesome stuff. And you must kind of get annoyed at those NDAs, because it's like, I can talk about it, but I kind of can't,
Yeah. Like, I would love to tell you guys about this audiobook, because, it's one of those big teen fiction series, or not series, but it's a big story where, like, they've already made a movie out of it. It's in the can right now, and it's going to be coming out later this year, and it's got huge stars in it, and it's going to be a big deal. And I think, it's a very popular YA title, and I'm just like, I wish I could talk about it, but the worst thing you can do in this business is shoot yourself in the foot with a good company, and they may love you to death and think you're very talented, but if you're the kind who constantly breaks NDAs or something, they'll get annoyed with you and quit using you. So, it's lame. But yeah, so it's very frustrating, especially when I've got con season coming up, hardcore con season, and I want to talk about things, and I can talk about like 70% of the work I've done, but then I have to omit part of it, and you're always sort of having to be on your toes and watching your mouth. And it's, for someone like me who's sort of a loudmouth, who uses horrible language and talks, and talks constantly at panels, it's very difficult for me, and I really have to be careful.
Well, we don't want to get you in trouble. That would be the least thing we wanted you to do. We want you to come back. We don't want to scare you away.
Yes. I'd like to keep working. Absolutely.
All right. Well, we're going to take a very short break, but keep it tuned to your favorite station, 91.8 The Fan. Everything you want, nothing.
91.8thefan.com. Have you logged on today?
Who, me? No. No?
iStock's daily news show, video reviews, articles, forums, in an anime directory. Don't get left behind. Log in today. Only on
918thefan.com?
918thefan.com.
All right, 918thefan.com.
Hey everybody out there, you're tuned in to 91.8 The Fan, and you're sitting in Kana's corner. And Chris Patton is also sitting in my corner.
Hello.
And we're actually talking about your Facebook behind the scenes.
Yeah. Facebook, which I almost deleted like a week and a half ago. I get really sick of it, but whatever. I mean, it's a good place for people to, I can't take it down and at the end of the day because it's a good place for people to find out what's going on and all that. It's just that I find that people, by and large, on there are horribly ill-mannered and have no sense of decorum or diplomacy and just have no filter between themselves and the keyboard and will say whatever their brains feel like pumping out onto the internet at the moment. But I do want to say that apart from the Facebook, there is an official website that's going to be a much better place as far as I'm concerned. It's going to be sort of more geared toward professionals in the industry who are interested in using me or booking me, but people can still contact me there. It's going to be, because someone stole ChrisPatton.com many years ago.
Oh, we'll curse them.
And that person, yeah, so it's going to be ChrisPattonActor.com. It's being worked on right now. It should be live in about a week and a half, probably sometime when I'm, gone. But it's really, I've seen it so far. It looks really nice. It's going to have, demos of stuff that I've done. It'll link you to my agency if you want to book me, and then it'll link you, if you want to book me for a convention, it links you to me personally. And then it'll just be a general contact, section and FAQ and blah, blah, all that stuff. And I will put up the ubiquitous answer, how do I get into voice acting? Because even though I answer the question about 75 times a year, people still message me on Facebook to ask me that question.
I'm proud of myself because in the 2 years that I've been interviewing people, I've never once asked that question.
That's awesome because, it's funny. You do get really sick of hearing it, but at the same time, you can't be a jerk about it because you forget that whoever's asking that question, they have never heard the answer for whatever reason, and so you have to treat it like it's their first time to ask that question, first time for you to answer it, and it is really annoying, but the only time in the past, year I've been rude about it was which was last week, this girl, everyone was sending me all these happy birthday wishes. It's so easy to tell when it's someone's birthday on Facebook, especially on my page, about 200 or 300 people had said happy birthday already. And I get this message from this girl who I've never seen before, never met before, don't know her. She had just added me 2 days before. And it said, Mr. Patton, hi, I'm a big fan. Can you please tell me how to get into voice acting? And my response was something to the effect of, you know what? It's my birthday, and for once in my life, I'm going to be a complete jerk about this and say, no, I won't tell you, and I'm not going to talk about this on my birthday. Thanks, bye. So, and I'm sure I, ruined her being my fan for the rest of my life, and I ruined her day and everything, and it sucks, and I'm sorry, but, I do think that if you're going to co-opt somebody's time, you should at least be respectful about it. And that was sort of my, on my birthday, I did work on my birthday. I actually had 2 jobs on my birthday, and that's cool. I'm getting paid for that, and that's fine. But I'm not going to sit at home and sign onto my computer and answer people's questions about how to get into voice acting. Whoa, hold on, what's going on?
Oh, we're still here.
Okay, that's my friend Leah Clark, who's going to England with me tomorrow.
Tell her we said hi.
We'll get back to her. Okay, so here's the thing about that. This is why I get a little biatchy there, like how I covered that.
Yes, that worked just fine.
About that that particular question, you see, when I wanted to get into voice acting, there was nobody to tell me how to do it. And I figured it out on my own. And I've always sort of taken the tack that, you know, I had to bust my butt at this for years to make something happen. And I figured it out on my own. I got an agent. I ended up getting my demo reel put together by great people. I worked really, really hard. And now, finally, I mean, after having done anime for 10 or 11 years and, you know, a few smattering of commercials and narration jobs here and there, finally I'm getting to where I just work consistently in the business. And so I will answer anyone's question, you know, and I will, especially at a convention, I'm very open with my time. That's why I'm there. I'm working. I'm there to talk to fans, and I tell them what they want to, you know, what they want to know about and everything. And that's totally cool. But every time I sign on to Facebook, I've got a message, oh, I want to be a voice actor. Well, you know, that's awesome. And I want a toaster made of gold, but I don't think it's going to happen. So, I mean, and it's like, and I know it sounds so much more harsh than I mean for it to, but it's just like, dude, yeah, you and 20,000 other people that have come up to me at conventions and said that. And the truth is, these kids, the majority of them don't want to hear the truth. You know, the truth is, okay, are you a trained stage actor? No. Are you willing to do stage acting? Never really thought about it. Okay, so you want to be an anime voice actor because you like anime. Yeah. Okay, well, you're probably never going to be one. To be perfectly frank. I mean, if you just, you know, the whole point of being a voice actor is that you're an actor. It's just that you specialize in one particular field, which is using your voice. More than, you know, I mean, I've done stage work since I was a 10-year-old kid. And I trained my voice. I trained operatically. I trained classically. I trained pop rock vocals. I trained in improv. I've done, you know, all kinds of performing all my life. It's just that voiceover is the way that I chose to go. It just suited me really well. And I have sort of, I guess, the right voice for it. And people don't understand that, you have to start out with acting as a foundation. And they come up to me and they start doing some voice that's barely intelligible. And I'm like, what are you doing? And they're like, well, I'm doing the voice of so-and-so. Do you think I could be a voice actor? And I'm like, no, I don't. I think you're doing a really bad impression of some character I've never heard of. And it's a sort of delusion. So it's really wonderful when you meet someone. Sometimes at a con, I'll do this acting workshop where I give people cold readings. And I let people I bring scripts, I bring monologues with me. They could be anything from classical Shakespeare to a clip from an anime that I've done or that's been dubbed, you know, and it could be anything in between. And I'll bring these things and I'll let them choose, but I want them to do a couple of different kinds, and then they'll do it for me and I'll critique them and they'll come and do it again and I'll tell them where they improved. And these are the people that I can tell are really serious, because every time I do one of those panels, I'll get 5 or 6 people that are like really talented and they're really adaptable and they're versatile and they take direction really well. And those are the people that I'll pay attention to. And then I'll say, okay, you're really serious about this. And I'm going to tell you some stuff that I don't tell everyone who walks up to me and says, I want to be a voice actor. It's like, you know, I want to be an Indian chief. I want to be a doctor. Okay, well, go to school. So,
I mean, in a way, I very much understand it. I don't mean to interrupt you. I do want to say happy late birthday before I forget.
Yeah.
But
yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, you know, in case you want to point anybody to the interview when we have it up, in case they ask you that question again, you can point them to this, just in case you don't want to answer it.
Yeah, I'm sorry that people are texting me left and right while I'm on the phone, of course, and it's getting very annoying. So what did you say there at the end? I'm sorry.
Oh, no, it's all right. I was just saying that, you know, in case you don't want to answer the question again, like you're having a bad day and you just don't want to answer it, you can always send them to this interview and then they can listen to it this way.
Yeah, well, by the way, where is what exactly, where exactly, like where is the interview going to be?
We'll be posting it up on our website. We'll send you an email over Facebook, or off air we can organize somewhere else if you'd prefer. When we do post it up, we'll send you the link, and then that way you can keep it and bookmark it and do whatever you want with it.
Awesome. That's very cool.
And I can kind of understand in a way where you're coming from. I'm not saying I'm a voice actress or anything. I just do this DJ thing, and it's fun, and I love it, and it's the best thing I could probably do from home. But at the same time, I'm not really trained, and I didn't really fall into it naturally. I had to work 2 years before we even got this thing launched, and I can kind of see where you're coming from to see, little kids and teenagers like, oh, well, I don't have any training, but I want to do it. Well, now you gotta work hard.
Yeah, well, I mean, and like in your case, you've worked really hard to get to where you are right now, doing what you're doing, and so you it almost becomes sort of an insult when someone who's 15 or 16 walks up to you and says, I really think I could do that. Oh, do you really? Because I mean, anyway, I think they, it's not their fault. They think that some of them think that it's this very easy thing that you just roll out of bed and there's a microphone right in front of your face and you just press record and start talking. And I mean, and I'm sure, you do get a lot of the same sort of, anyway, that people get to you. And I mean, of course, no one's ever trying to be annoying, and they're not trying to be tiresome or trying. It's just that, you go to so many of these events. Like, I'm about to go to my 76th convention, and
Wow.
And yeah, and I mean, you hear the same questions over and over, and that's fine. It's part of your job. It's cool. It's just that I will usually take one moment at the con when I have a big panel with a big group in front of me and say, okay, this is the skinny on the whole voice acting thing, and this is the gist of how I got into it. But here's the problem with answering that question. Everyone sort of has a different path of how they got into it. It's like, so when someone says, how do you get into voice acting? Well, it's a different answer for everyone, really. I mean, we all sort of have acting background or some training either in radio, stand-up comedy, in a band, or classically trained actors, or all of the above. But we all sort of took a different path on how we got to where we are now. So it's a very tough question to just answer flippantly in line, like on an autograph line. Will you sign this for me? Sure. By the way, how do I get into voice acting? Well, I don't know. I could write an essay on it, and you still, would be asking me questions. So I don't know. That's just sort of where it boils down to.
Oh yeah, I mean, I can understand that completely, and in a way, it's really honorable that you go to the extent to answer these questions again and again and again instead of leave me alone.
Yeah. But it's fine. Again, at the end of the day, when you're doing stuff like this, especially when you're at the conventions, you're going to be asked questions, and you can't be a jerk about it. It's part of your job, and the conventions are work, and it's part of the work that you're doing. So there you have it.
And I'm sure there are some fans out there that you just love meeting just because they love you so much.
Yeah. Oh, no. I mean, like 80% of the time, it's a really lovely experience. It's, most of them just want to tell you how much they enjoyed your work or how much you inspired them in one way or another. Or sometimes you get really hilarious things. Like at this last convention I was at in Ohio, stuff like this always totally cracks me up. This kid, I don't know, this probably like 18-year-old guy came sort of real shyly up to me. He was all in a steampunk outfit. He was real quiet. Like, would you sign this for me? And his friend totally looks at me and she goes, don't mind him. He's just totally gay for you. And like, it was really funny, and things like that just kind of make the whole weekend worth it because you realize you're sort of, well, okay, maybe I'm kind of making this person's day. And that's really cool, because it's a small thing, but it's a big thing to them.
Oh, that's so sweet. Is there anything else you want to tell our listeners out there who are interested in your work?
No, I mean, look out for the website. Definitely be checking out Soul Eater. Keep your eyes peeled on Nicktoons. And I so wish I could tell you guys about this audiobook for this book that's really awesome, but I can't. And I would say, look, if you're a big reader and you're into like listening to audiobooks when you travel and such, probably definitely over the next year you'll be seeing my name pop up on a lot of young adult and horror titles, because they've indicated that's sort of where my voice lies in that realm. That's probably what they're going to be using me for. So there's that, and that's really about all. I mean, like I said, I've been working on a lot of stuff I can't talk about, but you guys will be finding out about it in the very near future.
Awesome stuff. And before we let you go, I was wondering if we could ask you to participate in a 91.8 The Fan tradition.
Okay.
It's nothing painful, so don't worry. We just ask all.
I believe you.
We just ask all the guests who come on if they'd be willing to do a bump for us.
Oh yeah, of course, sure.
And we do it live on air in case there's any, bloopers and everything. We were just wondering if you could say, my name is, I do this, and you're tuned into 91.8 The Fan.
Yeah, sure. When do you want me to let it rip?
Whenever you're ready.
My name is Chris Patton, probably known best as the voice of Greed in Full Metal Alchemist and Sosuke in Full Metal Panic, and you are listening to 91.8 The Fan.
Yay, you got the name right and everything. You'd be surprised how often that happens.
Oh no, I remember when I first started in this and I did bumps, I used to screw them up all the time.
Well, awesome stuff. Thank you so much for being a part of the show. We loved having you.
Absolutely. Thank you guys.
And we're going to go to a break, so make sure to keep tuned to your favorite station, which is 91.8 The Fan. Everything you want, nothing